All right, let's take a look at the course information folder. Now, some things might change from this video based on whatever semester you're taking this, but let me show you the highlights. And let me start with probably the most confusing things, the things where it's going to be most helpful to be able to see this on the screen. So the syllabus, that's just a PDF. Open that, that'll be fine. If you have any questions when you read that, send me an email. The more confusing thing is connecting Brightspace and Cengage. So Cengage has some details on this, but let me show you what I know works from my experience with Farmingdale's copy of Brightspace and all that stuff. So there's two basic steps to this. One is you create an account on Cengage.com, and then two is you come back to Brightspace, this platform here, and with that you're able to click directly into our classroom, our textbook, our homework. It's all going to be there. You don't need a special book code. Once you click that link, it should bring you to a page that looks something like this, either showing assignments by deadline or showing the outline of the textbook overall. You can also filter this to ask to only look at the things, for example, that count towards your grade. There are more details on that up at the top here, getting started. Check out these assignments. These will help you to get the most out of this thing. So this is MindTap. Our textbook is here. So for example, you go into chapter 1, you can read the chapter. We will also have a bunch of our homework on here. Not 100% of your grade, but well, a lot of your grade is going to be on here. So there's MindTap, and then there's Brightspace. So back to Brightspace. MindTap, you'll figure that out when you get to it. But that first step, setting up an account on Cengage, let's talk about that for a sec. So Cengage is the textbook publisher, and they have this platform of all their textbooks in digital format, as well as homework platforms. We're using that homework platform. The cheapest way to access this is by getting a Cengage Unlimited account. So this gives you access to all of Cengage's stuff. If you've got other classes using Cengage textbooks, this covers that. You only have to pay once, which is finally a nice thing to come from a textbook publisher. Also, if you know that you're going to take Eco 156 in the near future, it might make sense to buy the 1-year subscription instead of 4 months. It's an extra $70 for next semester's textbooks instead of $130 now and $130 in the future. So consider that. So you sign up for Cengage Unlimited, you create your Cengage account, use your Farmingdale email address to make things a little bit easier, but there are workarounds. If you need help, go to the help page on Cengage. They're going to be best positioned to help you with any issues you run into here. And that's going to include things like payment issues. Speaking of payment issues, you can get just our book on its own, but it's going to cost you more. So you might be in a situation, for example, students getting their books paid for by the VA. Often outside payers will only pay for one book, even if it costs more. If you're in that situation, send me an email and I'll help you through that. But most of us, it's going to be simplest. Just sign up for Cengage Unlimited. You pay $130 for the semester, which is not nothing, but it's still pretty small compared to the amount of value we're getting out of it. So we're not going to look at how to use it here, but again, just an encouragement. Go to the outline view and look at the things in getting started. These will be there as practice. You can mess things up. You can tool around and make mistakes and kind of figure things out in a consequence-free environment with these assignments. So check those out to make your life easier when you get into the stuff that is graded. All right. Back to course information. So the other element of this is another textbook. Not a textbook, a Pop Econ book that we're using to supplement our more formal approach with the main Q text. So the textbook, it's technical, it's giving you specifics about the models. This is a little bit more narrative. He tells stories, he puts in more context. and he doesn't get lost in the jargon so much. Tim Harford is an excellent author. He does a great job of creating an engaging introduction to economics that I think is very complementary to the approach of trying to learn in a formal classroom setting. So this gives us a way to kind of, immerse ourselves in the ideas in a more natural way. To that point, I'm not going to go through the syllabus overall, but just as a point of interest on the syllabus, our grade is going to be broken down to be 20% reading assignments, mostly related to The Undercover Economist. Side note, on my browser, this fantastic Firefox plugin is showing me that there are a bunch of copies available through the public library. Also, this is an excellent lesson. This book, The Undercover Economist Strikes Back, is not the correct book. You want to make sure you get this one with this detective-looking guy in the front. The Undercover Economist, this is the microeconomics book. Undercover Economist Strikes Back is a macroeconomics follow-up. Also an excellent book, but not in this class because this is the principles of microeconomics. All right, so unless you're watching this class and I'm teaching Eco 156, it's been a little while, but when I do use that book. Whichever version, the link in course information I'll make sure brings you to the correct version to make sure you're seeing the right copy, the right cover. And sometimes it can be a little bit different, but you'll see different sellers. There are very cheap copies of this available. All right, sorry, I got a little bit distracted there. Grade is 20% reading assignments, mostly related to this book. Earlier in the semester, there are a few other ones where I give you some time for your book to ship. So 20% that, 40% MindTap. So if you don't get MindTap, you're putting your maximum grade at only 60%, which is not a passing grade. So definitely make sure you get MindTap immediately. It's got our textbook and it's got a big chunk of our grade. And then the other 40% is quizzes. These are going to be on Brightspace. So again, a little confusing until you kind of get your head into it. We have Brightspace, this system here, and we've got MindTap, and you've got different things on both of those. But the way to get access to MindTap is by clicking that link in course information that will bring you to our class without you needing a special code. Once you do that, I think that there's an easy way to get there from Cengage.com. I don't know, I always just go through this link because it's a lot easier. All right, that was perhaps too many details about this particular folder on Brightspace, but like I said, it's obvious in hindsight. It's a little confusing and weird the first time you see it. If you're still running into problems, just send me an email at weberr@farmingdale.edu. In any case, good luck, and I will talk to you in the future.